Romans 13 is the longest section. And Romans 13 tells that God establishes civil authorities as his agents for justice. They are charged with the safeguarding and preserving and protecting and defending people who are members of their society, members of their jurisdiction, whether it's a nation or a state or whatever. And so civil authority, biblically understood, is one that wields the sword of justice. It's not so much to exercise mercy as to ensure justice and protection of the innocent and punishment of the wrongdoers. Justice is certain, everybody comes back to Micah 6:8, which says, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God?" And in fact, this was one of the leading verses that animated and inspired our founding fathers. Now, civil authority, we understand, is to primarily exercise justice. Mercy is something that's more difficult for civil authorities to exercise. Everybody as individuals have a different mandate to love their neighbor, even love their enemy. But the civil authority is the one that wields the sword of justice, and when it exercises mercy, governments actually don't have resources to other than what's entrusted to them by the members of their society. So in effect, when government exercises mercy or lets somebody off the hook for their injustice, what the government is doing is forcing the innocent or the law-abiding to abide by the injustice, to incur the injustice, to suffer the injustice that the lawbreaker purported. In an immigration context, someone breaks an immigration law, they are performing an injustice, a crime against society. That offense can only be punished by the civil authority, or if mercy is exercised, then it basically is letting them off without paying the debt of their offense. That offense is borne, that the injustice of that offense is borne by the members of that society, not by the elected officials or kings or potentates or whoever. So justice is clearly easier for governments to exercise. Mercy is clearly easier for individuals to exercise. As citizens in the earthly realm, Christians are to be good citizens. They're to pray for their leaders. They're to render under Caesar the things that are Caesar's, such as paying taxes, or if obliged to serve the country in other ways, military service or whatever, in defense. Those are legitimate calls that the government can place on individuals, including Christians. And we know there were Christian believers who were Roman soldiers and centurions, Scripture tells us. So, that was not a problem for them, disenfranchising them from the city of God, the heavenly kingdom. So the individual owes that debt to society, that obligation to his fellow citizens and to his government in his nation. On the individual side, acting privately, they are held to a much higher standard. Christians are to love their neighbor as they love themselves. They're to go the extra mile to give someone, if they ask for your jacket, also give your cloak. They're to love their enemies. They're to do good to those who harm them. And that individual level exercise of mercy is for God's glory. But when an individual uh, is acting as a public official, that's altogether a different situation.